Hi, good day. I'm gonna deal with GPOs and or terminal servers. GPOs are group policies, and I will be dealing with it in Windows Server 2008. In 2008, GPOs are basically a tab by itself where you're going to start administrative tools, and you can see the group policy management area is right here. You just click on it, and here you can see the forest of the group policy management. It's underneath the ASL domain is underneath the forest, but you will go and expand. Go to domains, expand that, and you'll expand the ASL as well, and then you go to the group policies. You basically expand that as well. Here we will be going to make a new group policy. Basically right click, press new, and you can see the tab asking to rename the group policy, and we're going to name it screensaver. Click OK, and you shall see the screensaver come up here. We are going to right click on this, press edit. We are going to right click on the screensaver policy, going to the properties. You can see here in the settings area, you can see all of the screensaver options are set as no, and we are going to configure them. Now you can see here, we can see the screensaver. Double click on it, press properties, where we are going to enable it right now. Then you can see in the we have explain and comment tabs. In the explain you can see what it does and how to disable it, and etc. We click next. Okay, sorry. And for extra security measure, we are going to enable the password protection on the screensaver. We go back into right click and press properties again. We're going to press enable, apply, and you can see it has the explain and comment as well in here, and the explain will deal with how to activate and deactivate it, disable the screensaver password protection. Press OK. Also we are going to enable the screensaver timeout. We're going to enable that, and instead of having 900 seconds, we're going to have something like about 40 seconds pertaining to the video. We have the 3 screensaver options that I want to enable. I'm going to close this. Now go back to my group policy management. I'm going to right click on the screensaver, check the status of it, and you can see that it's enabled. And now I'm going to link our existing GPO. So I'm going to click on my domain, right click, link an existing GPO. The tab came up. We're going to click on the screensaver, press OK, and you can see everybody who is underneath this domain policy would be able to have access to the screensaver policies. And you can see here that the GP update /force is updating the group policy at this point in time, and we'll have to wait until it's finished. Now you can see that the computer policy has completed successfully, so we're going to test it out now. So we're going to close this, right click on the screensaver, press personalize, and let's see if we are able not to modify any of these stuff. See, no option. The screensaver has no option that you can set, and basically in 40 seconds or so the screensaver is going to activate for itself, and we can see how it works, And when the screensaver activates, anytime I move the mouse or any sudden movement on the screensaver, it's going to ask me to log back in, and I just have to add in the password of the administrator. Well, in this video you can see that in this demonstration we have done just one of the many things that you can do in Server 2008. And we'll go back into the group policy management, but we could look around in our group policy management and we have a lot of settings that we can use. I'm going to show you how to install Terminal Server on the Windows Server 2008. I've already opened my server manager, so we go into roles, wait for it to set up and see what in servers we have. Then we go to add roles. You can see the wizard has already set up. We basically go on to next. They will ask you what server role you would like to add to the server, and we're going to add terminal services. As here you have a brief description of what terminal services, which is provides technology that enables users to access Windows-based programs that are installed on the terminal server, or to access the full Windows desktop with the terminal services. Users can access the terminal server from within your corporate network or from the internet. So we are going to click next, and you can see the introduction of the terminal server services and what basic overview of it as. And after this you can actually see the types of terminal services that we have here, which will definitely be needing terminal server. A wizard warning will come up and will inform you of what is recommended and not recommended. But now we'll click install terminal server, as also you be using the TS session broker as well as the web access, and this will definitely we click to add these services as well, and the gateway TS services. Then we click next. This part of the wizard, you can see it talks about installing and uninstalling the applications for compatibility. That's basic information on the server, so we just click next. It specifies authentication methods for the terminal server. This is basically networking level authentication, so that any person who requires access to the server through the terminal server, can get the access. Right now it's required. Here you could say required network authentication, and we have don't require network level authentication. For now we are going to have it as don't require like the network level authentication, and we're going to click next because eventually I will have to put that in later. Click next, and you can see the terminal service license mode, and it will ask you different things like configure later, per device, or per user. It's pertaining to the administrator at present, or pertaining to the job that needs to be done is up to them, and for now we are going to leave it as configure later, as well as we're going to do that. User groups, basically we just press the add button. You'll see the tab come up pertaining to selecting the user groups and users, the location. We are going to add in the human resource group, which I added. You could see we have added the human resource into the group and clicked the check name, and you see it actually looked for the location of it. You click OK, and you can see it's added into the human resource section of the groups of the TS gateway groups. We click next. Now you can see this is where you have to create a TS cap for the gateway. We will be leaving it as the TS cap 01. This is in order to allow users to connect to the gateway server. We go ahead and click next. As well as you can see where they specified having a password. You can use both methods, both password and smart card, but for now we are just going to leave it as the password and continue. As you can see in this part of the wizard, you can see where we have to create a TS wrap, which is basically the network resources that users can connect to through the gateway server. You can see where we have all users to connect only to computers in the following group, or you have allow users to connect to any computer on the network. We are basically going to use this and keep the default name as well. We're going to click next and continue on to the network policies and access services. This is basically the introduction to the policies and access services that is going to be rendered into the server that we need to. It's going to enforce policies, authorizations, and authentication in the server. You're going to click next, and here you will see the role services that's required in the server, but we are not concerned with the last 5. We are just only concerned with the networking policy server. And here you can see the introduction to the web server IIS. We are going to click next, and you can see the selected services on the web server IIS. We're just going to keep with the default services that is already highlighted, checked for the servers, and we are just basically going to click next. As you can see here, really overview of all the information that we installed from the beginning to the end. Underneath here you can see the terminal server, which is like basically the warnings that we need. It's telling us that you may need to reinstall existing applications. I haven't installed any application as yet, so now we are going to click install. Install results has been here you can see all the terminal services has been installed, and it's going to ask me to restart to install all the information. So we're going to click yes. Now you can see that the terminal servers has installed, and we are now going to log back into it as the administrator. Now you can see inside of the server manager we have the terminal services added, as well as the network policy access installed, roles installed, that is. Now we are going ahead and going to create copies of, or I should say a template of a user account that you can use to copy anytime you need to create an account. You just simply have to go in, simply go back to admin, HR admin, right click on it, go to new, you will see the username come up, you type in template, put an underscore, template, the same thing you will add in to the user login, click next, you type in a password. I'll leave the account active, and instead of clicking the account is disabled, click next, press finish. As you can see, the template has been added to the top of the page. You can configure the template to copy to create a new user profile from the template. You just simply press right click, press copy. You can see that the information tab has come up. I've entered the new information for the user. Just click next, enter the password, disable the account, click next, see the summary for Jill Hammer, and press finish, and you shall see the new user. If you could take a look at the new copy that we have, new user, sorry, that we just added, you can right click, go to properties, and you can see basic information has been entered, profiles. You can see where the home folder is, the user profile are, and the member group, and you can see all these settings that we had inputted in the template is here. And finally we are going to deal with the mandatory profile. Now to create the mandatory profile, we basically have to go into start computer, and you shall see it come up. I have my computer open already, so I'll just click on that. We'll double click on the local C drive, local disk, which is the C drive in most computer systems. We're going to create a new file. We're just going to right click, press new folder. We'll name it ASL MA mandatory profile. Click enter. Now we are going to share the folder. You just go and right click on it, properties, go into sharing, and we're going to go into advanced sharing, press share this folder, going to go into the permissions and we're going to give the folder full control, which you can see it will give it full control, change and read. We click apply and press OK again, and you can see the file is shared now, and press close. Now we are going to go into the command prompt. We're going to start, go to run, type in dsa dot msc. This is to get to our Active Directory users group, users that we have here in the domain as well for now. Right now we have to log off. We're going to log back in underneath the one of the two users that we had created earlier. We just logged into the Jillhammer account. Now we are going to go back to the server or the main controller. You just click start, log off. After logging back into the server, we're going to start, right click on my computers, go to properties, go into advanced system settings. The system properties will come up, and you'll go on the advanced section and go into user profiles, then to settings, and there you will see the user is underneath the user profiles. Now you're going to copy the user. You just click on it, press copy to, then browse, and you go into the C drive. Now you click on the ASL MP profiles, press OK. Then you go into permitted to use, which you change that. Then we'll use the user the client, which is JL names, and you can see it's up. Press OK, and you press OK right out. You're going to copy the file, browse, then go into computer, local disk, go into MP, ASL MP, press OK, then change in JL. I've already done this part, so you press check, press OK, and when you press OK here, it will tell you that it's already existed, and to delete the file, then you just click yes. As I already had done this earlier, I could just click OK and exit out everything into that computer. Now we're going into system tools, folder option to update the folder right now. We're going to view, show hidden folders. Now uncheck the hidden protected operating system. Click yes, click OK. Now we're going back into the C drive and into the MP folder. There you have it, that's mandatory folders.